All right, welcome everyone to State of the Game for July 6th, and I got the date right. So as you can see, I'm all alone here. As you know, like Hamish is not here with us. Hamish is actually on holiday, so that's gonna be just me today. Hope it's gonna be fine for you guys. And I actually have a bunch of things to talk about because, as you know, we have a PTS going. We need to give you an update on PTS on consoles, but there's also a live game. So there's a bunch of things to talk about. Feels bad, man. No, that's fine. Don't worry, Legendary Gunny. Thank you guys for the support. But we're gonna be all right. But yeah, so let's get to it. Oh wait, I got confused. Peter is typing something in the. No, Peter, what are you doing? You good? All right, so State of the Game as a worker. All right, anyway, so we had a maintenance this morning on the live game. As usual, our weekly maintenance of the Thursday morning. There was just one fix in there, which was for a glitch that would allow to go through wars in the dark zone. So that one has been fixed. We'll keep an eye on anything that would be related or like new versions of this glitch or whatever to keep fixing those because those are annoying. Regarding the live version, we also have a double type weekend again. So that's starting this weekend. That's starting on July 7th, which is tomorrow. Yeah, that's Friday tomorrow, starting at midnight CEST. I was going to say UTC, but yes, actually UTC, midnight UTC apparently. I'm reading my notes in the same time. Yeah, so midnight UTC, the night of July 7th, we will have the double daily assignment rewards. Sorry about that, and until July 10th. So that's 3 days from Friday. So the night of Thursday to Friday, and then on Sunday night, the night of Sunday to Monday. At midnight, so that's 3 days, 72 hours. Every time you complete a daily assignment, you get double rewards. And that's for the live next week, God damn it. What? Just do the State of the Game in French if it's easier. Probably not. You probably don't want that. All right, so what's going on with PTS? Because obviously that's the big thing that we want to talk about. So what's going on with PTS? First, so we had the PTS 1 that has been going on for a week now. So we started last Friday. We've got a bunch of great feedback. So thank you guys for all the feedback that we got on the PTS. I know that there's been some people talking about the fact that we have not been very active in the forums discussions and all of that. But do rest assured that we're actually reading the discussions a lot. As I posted in one of the threads to explain that the reason why we're not posting is also because we're not really looking at debating and trying to convince you of the decisions we're making, especially with PTS1. We're more interested at getting the raw reaction to the update and kind of see how you guys react to that when you first get to test it. So that's why we're mostly just reading all the feedback, and we've got a lot of that. Obviously, one of the big discussions has been classified gear sets and the Striker. So the Striker, is it OP? Is it great? Is it, how is it? Basically, the way we look at it is that we want classified gear we want it to be good. We want it to be better. We want it so that as a player, when you get a full classified gear set, you should be able to do pretty much, anything in the game, because that's really if you min-max a classified gear set, that's when you should feel like you've mastered the game and you should be able to do pretty much everything. So obviously, the Striker is there. It's probably a bit too far there, and if you've seen the patch notes already for PTS2, you will see that we've kind of tweaked it a bit, but we don't want to tweak it too much because we think that this is pretty much, like the power level where we want the players to be when they have mastered or completely, completed a classified set. Now, of course, do keep in mind that when the update actually comes out, min-maxing a full set is actually going to take way longer than what it takes on the PTS. So that's also something that may influence the perception that you guys get from the PTS right now, because right now it's very easy. You just go to the vendor, you get your caches, and you directly get a full set. That's not going to be the case when the global events come out, actually, with the update. There won't be these caches. You will actually have to grind for the set, and it's going to take a while to get it. So it's not going to be directly this kind of transition where suddenly everybody is completely OP. classified will kill the PvP. I mean, classified should, they should balance between each other. So it's more regarding PvE that you're going to be like pretty strong when you get a complete classified gear set. But it's in PvP, if everybody is in classified, they should balance out. But yeah, do make sure to test the other gear sets though. I know that Striker is very good and everybody wants to play Striker, but do make sure to try the other ones. We want to get feedback on the other sets as well. So yeah, try the other ones out there. We had an update on the PTS, obviously. PTS 2 just came out about an hour ago now. The maintenance ended, about an hour ago. So if you want to check it out, there are the patch notes that are published already. I don't know if we already have an updated link in the chat here, but just go on the forums, on the PTS forums, and you will see that we have the patch notes for PTS 2. I'm not going to read all of it anyway. There's a lot of bug fixes, obviously, but the main changes in terms of balancing, as I said, Striker is, or Striker Classified is the one that's, or the main change between PTS 1 and PTS 2. So what we did with Striker, Classified is basically we changed the 6-piece talent. It used to be that it would give you, like 0.1% per stack of health per second. So if you would have 100 stack, you would get 10% of health plus 0.01% per 1,000 stamina. So if you were at, say, 6,000 stamina, you would actually get 16% health per second when you have the 100 stack. What we did now is we changed the 1,000 stamina requirements to 2,000. So basically the extra health that you get, depending on your stamina, has been divided by 2. So what that means with the 6,000 example, for example, if you have 6,000 stamina, you would get 16% health per second with a 100 stack. Now you're going to get 13%. So that's a decrease of the amount of health you get, but the mechanics haven't changed. So it's still going to be the same. It's still going to be pretty good. Obviously, it still has better stats as a classified set than other items. It's just the health, the healing effect is going to be a bit lower than what it used to be. And we think that hopefully we don't need to do much more than that. As we said, we want it, and we want all the classified to be powerful. Half of 16 is 8. Yes. So all right, let's do math together. So you get 0.1% per stack. So when you get 100% stack, you get 10%. That's a given. That's not related to your stamina. But on top of that, you get 0.01% per 2,000 stamina you have. So if you have 6,000 stamina, you get 0.03% on top of your 0.1% per stack. So that means per stack you get 0.13%, which makes it 13% when you have 100 stack. I'll be here all day if you have math questions. And also the other thing, we fixed an issue with the classified with the stat range. They're supposed to roll from 1274 to 1401 with their main stats. And there was an issue where some classified would actually roll lower than that, would still roll the values from normal gear sets. So this has been fixed, which means that all classified now will actually roll the proper values, which are 1274 to 1401 for their main stats. And as I said, a bunch of bug fixes. One of the most important ones, also related to classified, but I think is going to make people happy. The recalibration now works on classified gear. So you can go out there, still get your classified. We haven't changed the fact that you get classified for free at the vendor. We still want you guys to play around with them. But therefore, now the recalibration should work, so you can really try to start min-maxing them properly and see how that goes. So please go out there. Yeah, 1401. Yeah, it's pretty high value, but it's going to be interesting to see, especially now that you guys will get to min-max them. As we said, we want to see how far we can go in terms of power level and see where's the right amount. So please do min-max them and just tell us and try all the classified gear sets that are available out there. Trying to read chat in the same time. That's where I need Hamish, so then Hamish would take over and talk, and I would just read chat, but I can't do that. So I'm going to keep going. So the other thing with PTS2, global event. Global event is, or we have the first global event that should have started already on the PTS. We said we would make it with PTS2. So the name of the global event is Outbreak. The theme is headshots. So you're going to have a global modifier where you're basically doing more damage when you're doing headshots. And then some activity and group modifiers that are based also around this theme. So go out there and try it. In terms of timeline, so stay with me here because it's going to be complicated. So it's active from July 6th, which is today, until July 9th. We are going to deactivate it on July 10th and then reactivate it for the next 2 days, 11th and 12th. We are deactivating it for 1 day because we also want to test the deactivation and reactivation of global events while the servers are running and everything. That's also something we need to test on the backend side for us. So that's why we're going to turn it off for 24 hours and turn it back on. All right, then what next? So I see a lot of questions, and obviously I have that in there. Consoles. So PTS on consoles. Where are we there with that? So it's still happening. There is no change here. I've seen some people just speculating that we were going to announce that the PTS on console was cancelled. It is not. It is still happening. We are still on track for opening them next week. Opening the PTS on console next week. We're looking at towards the end of the week for opening the PTS on console, both platforms at the same time, end of the week. And that means that the invites and the preload should be available more towards the beginning of the week. So don't refresh your mailboxes, the whole weekend right now, because the invites are not sent today. They are not being sent tomorrow. They won't be sent this week. They will be sent early next week, beginning of next week. And we will, of course, let you know when the invites are being sent. So don't kill your mouse pressing this refresh button. And then what's going to happen? So we said when we talked about PTS on console, we said that there might be a discrepancy between the builds on console and the builds on PC. So this is actually what's going to happen. So what's going to happen is that the PTS on console will normally will open with the PTS2 build, which is the build we just released on PC now. But in the same time, we're probably going to update PC with PTS3. So it's gonna be a bit complicated to keep track of which platform has what. But that's what we need to do, because if we wanted to release PTS3 on console, we would need a new submission time with first party, which means that would delay everything even more. So there's going to be a discrepancy there. So when PTS on console opens next week, you guys will have PTS2. PC will probably, at this point, have PTS3. What else do I have in here? Once the PTS on console is open, it's going to keep running until the end of the PTS. So there is no limited duration for it. It's going to run as long as until we decide to close the PTS on all platforms. And since it's going to be PTS2, we will also have the global event activated on console when it opens. So it might be closed on PC at this point, but on console the global event will be activated because we want to make sure that you guys get a chance, you guys on console get a chance to test the global event as well. So wait another week. Yeah, but we said last week, we said that we are looking at next week for the PTS on console. The only thing is that we were hoping to send the invites this week, but actually they're going to be sent early next week. So that's that. Now regarding the discussion, because there's been a lot of debate on the why 10,000 and why are we limiting the invites on the PTS on console. So why are we doing that? Basically, first, doing invites is the only way for us to do a PTS on console. We cannot open it to everyone, because if we would open it to everyone, that would basically be like a beta or something, or like a free weekend or something, which means anybody would be able to access the game. Players that don't own the game would be able to access the game as well, which is an issue for us because we do not want to load the servers with a population of people that don't know the game. That wouldn't help us with the PTS. We want to make sure that the people that come to the PTS are people who played the game and who know the game. So first, that's why we need to put an invite system and a key system. That's the reason why. Now, why 10,000? 10,000 per platform, by the way. There's been some confusion there. It's 10,000 per platform. So 10,000 PS4, 10,000 Xbox One. Why this amount? That's mostly just due to server load. So we want to first invite this batch of 20,000 players, put them on the server, make sure that the server load is fine, that we don't end up with, like infinite waiting queues. And then we'll see. If the population is not high enough on the servers, if we want to have more people, we can have new waves of invite. The 10,000 is just the first wave that we're doing, and we might have more waves if we think that this is needed. So don't focus too much on the number of 10,000. Normally, that's a lot of the active players of late will be invited and should get access to the PTS. But yes, so the limitation is mostly due to server load. And why do we have a key? First, to make sure that people who actually play the game will go on the PTS and not new players. How many hours do you need? I don't know. I mean, that depends on the ranking. But that's a very good segue, because I actually I got a tweet today from SHD Max that had a few questions and asked on the PTS on console and asked if I could answer them in the state of the game. So I'm actually going to do that. And his first question was to clarify the eligibility criteria. And I know that, yes, a lot of people are still confused as to as to why or what are the can't say that, criteria. So again, the way we are selecting people is that first you have to have played in the last 30 days when we did the dump of profiles, and that was done about a week ago. So that means if you had been active in the 30 days prior to last week, you are going to be put in this data if you have a valid email address linked to your Uplay account. So if you don't have a valid email address, you've been removed from this data, because we want to make sure that when we send keys, they're actually arriving to a mailbox that is valid. So if you have a valid email address on your Uplay account and have been active in the 30 days, you go in a list, and then this list we sort it, or we rank it by total playtime since the game has launched. So since the game has launched, we look at how long have you played, and we take the top 10,000 of this list, basically. So from the guy that played the most until the 10,000th player who played the most from that platform. That's how we did that. And then again, if we want to have a second invite or second wave of invite, we're going to look at from number 10,001 and all the way down until how many people we want to invite in total. So the question, how many hours do you need to have played in order to be invited? I don't know. I don't know what's the minimum hours of the lowest ranked player that has been put in this list. I wouldn't know that. Then there's the question, so again, still from SHD Max, question number 2, what verification are you doing? So like, what if we are actually inviting a player that has just been extremely active at launch and then very inactive and just logged in for 1.6 to check it out and didn't play? And that's true. That may happen. That may happen, and we don't have any verification for that. So what that means is that we may have people that have been very active at launch, just launched the game once in a while, but don't really play it anymore, and will be invited. And will be higher in the list than somebody that actually bought the game 3 months ago, has been very active, but still hasn't played as much as this guy. And that's true, that sucks. That's the problem with having an automated system like that. We will have these kind of situations. But yeah, that still is the best way for us to make sure that we have people that actually are active in the game. So no, we don't have any extra step of verification on that. We're just looking at the pure data. We are not looking at when were you active, if it was more at the beginning or more towards now. And the final question from SHD Max was, what if a person cannot do the PTS? What if somebody receives an invite but can't do the PTS? And is there a way to transfer the invite? Actually, yes, because you're going to receive a key. And this key, you don't have to redeem it on your account. You can redeem it, you can give it to someone else. If you know you can't do the PTS, you can give the key to someone else, and this someone else will actually be able to redeem it and access the PTS. The key is not linked to your account. So if you cannot access the PTS, if you receive an invite and you know you can't do the PTS, make sure to actually, send your key to someone else to make sure that this person will actually get to play on the PTS. And make sure also that we don't end up with a lot of invites that don't go anywhere. So I hope that answers the questions from SHD Max. That's all I had in here, so I'm just going to have a very awkward moment where I'm going to read chat and try to answer some of your questions. How do I know I am invited? So Papo, you will receive an email next week. If you are invited, you will receive an invitation email with a key, or normally you will receive the first email where you're going to have to click on the link, go to this link to confirm that you received the email, and then after that you will receive another email with a key that you will have to redeem on your first party. When are the invites? Vizcabarca, the invites are going to be sent next week, as we said, early or like beginning of next week, basically. We're looking beginning of next week. Invites are sent and the preload is available. End of the week, we're opening the PTS for console, both platforms at the same time. When there was a question about the other 6-piece gear sets, when are they coming? They probably won't be tested on this PTS because right now we're focusing on the first classified gear sets that are there. Make sure that the very concept of classified actually works, and that the first ones we have actually also work. They probably won't be implemented in this PTS. That's probably going to be more of a 1.8 thing. But we may reveal the stats before that, or like the 6-piece bonus before that. We'll see when we have a clear ID. How many weeks will the PTS run? Flexibility, probably the same as usual. I mean, we're looking at a rather more towards the long type of PTS. So if you look at the longest PTS we've done in the past, we're probably looking at something like that. So yeah, 3-4 weeks, I don't know, as long as we need. Is the patch coming out before September? I don't know. That's going to depend also on PTS feedback. We don't commit to a release date until we are sure that we are ready to release that. Okay, chat. There's a lot of questions, chat. Slow down. Any new weapons? No, there are no new weapons coming with update 1.7. There's already a lot to do with classified, I think, a lot to mess around with. So, can you save caches for 1.7? You can, but why would you want to? Because the classified won't appear in your caches anyway. What about the PTS that's already on the PS Store? Yeah, it's that one, but normally you can't preload until you get the invite anyway. So you will see it, and that's going to be the right one, but normally you can't preload it yet. You will have to wait until you get the invite. I like how people are just Google translating their questions to French, hoping that I'm actually going to see them. Asking a question in French does not increase the chances for you to get an answer, because I already forgot about it now. Also, preload doesn't guarantee invite. Well, absolutely, that is true. Can I preload PTS 1.9 yet? Nah. Give us zombies? No, we don't have zombies. And if you've seen the PTS, the patch note PTS2, we properly fixed a bug this time with the NPCs keeping, what was it? They were still blinking. Yeah. So dead NPCs would still blink when they would be dead. This is fixed. Zombies are not true. Zombies are a lie. High-end classified? No. I mean, that's not happening anytime soon. I don't think that's something we want to do. Striker Gear OP on PTS, Urban Sniper. We are modifying it. We are tweaking it a bit and reducing the heal value of the Striker. But we still want classified to be powerful. So it's a bit too powerful, or it was too powerful on PTS 1, but it still should be more powerful than a normal gear set. Yannick Beard Mask. Why do we need invite? I just mentioned that before. We need invite because otherwise we would have to open the PTS to all players, to anyone. So that means even someone that doesn't actually own the game would be able to download the PTS and play the PTS and not understand what is going on there. And also that means that we would get someone using a spot on the PTS, and like volume on the PTS is limited in terms of how many, like the load. So that means that this load would be used by players that are not going to provide us any feedback the way we want to. We want to make sure that people who go to the PTS are people who play the game and know the game. So that's why we need to have invites to make sure that this is how it's going to go. Is high-end getting a stat boost? No. And yeah, we know, Kisolo, we know that high-ends are probably going to like really not be on par with the new builds and the new meta, with 1.7, with the classified. So that might be something we need to look at, or maybe not. Maybe also we just kind of accept the fact that high-ends are just more a temporary thing when you're building your character, and then you actually are looking to move towards classified gear and exotics. Where is Hamish? Hamish is not here. I know. I miss him too. Any changes to survival? There were a few changes to survival in the patch notes, but I don't have them in mind. Do you remember, Peter? There's... No. Sorry, I don't remember. But if you go on the patch notes on the PTS forums, you will see the changes there. There were a couple of changes. Is exotic getting a stat boost? No, it's not. What else do we have in here? Classified exotics. That would be fun, though. I mean, we're not giving up on all the other items. That might be something that we want to look at. But right now, our focus is on classified gear. Can we save exotic caches for Ninja Backpack? Ah, for the Ninja Backpack, that's why you want to save the caches. Yeah, it's probably better to save them because right now you won't get a Ninja from the caches. So you probably have chances to get a Ninja Backpack with 1.7 in your caches. So if you're looking for a Ninja Backpack, yes, probably save your caches. Chat is going too fast, I can't read. How big is the PTS going to be? You mean the download? I mean, on console, it's going to be, you're going to have to download the full game again. It's a completely different client. So that's something around 40 gigabyte now. But you will get to preload it. You'll have something about 48 hours to preload the PTS. How do you know if you got an invite? You will receive an email. Check your emails. All right. Anyway, I agree. Keith Lay were saying it's dragging on. It's time to sign off. Yes. So are we good with the video? You don't know?
No.
No? It's not happening? All right. Too bad. Sorry, guys. I wanted to share a video with you. Nice video from Vicente Prod, but apparently we fucked up, so it's not going to happen. That's what happens when we don't have Amish with us. But you can go on his channel, Vicente Prod on YouTube. Go to his channel. He has a new video on the Division, which is pretty cool. But yeah, thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. And yeah, have fun on the PTS2 for those of you who have access to it. Those who don't, especially console players, as I said, invites will be sent early next week. And hopefully, if everything goes fine, the PTS on console opens more towards the end of next week, but it's still on track for a release next week. So yeah, thank you, guys, and I'll be seeing you in the State of the Game next week, where I will probably be alone again because Hamish will still not be back, but I might manage to get a guest at this point. We'll see how that goes. Thanks, guys. See you.